Anyway, tell us about a film that's out.
Allelujah, which is directed by Richard Eyre and is adapted from an apparently very well-received play by Alan Bennett, which I hadn't seen, 2018 stage play. It's adapted by screenwriter Heidi Thomas, set in a Yorkshire hospital, the Beth, which has a population of geriatrics, played by the likes of Dame Judi Dench, David Bradley, Derek Jacobi. Jennifer Saunders is Sister Gilpin, who tends to the patients so well that she is about to get an award. Ballygill is Dr. Valentine, who embodies everything that is great and noble about the NHS. We begin by hearing him saying, "I've always loved old people. I've always loved the fact that when I see them, I see their histories. I see that, we are all part of the same continuum. I want to care for them and I want to know about them." And it's basically like a kind of absolutely brilliant speech about exactly what you would want somebody in the caring industry to be about. And it's a really, really good performance. And so you start watching the film and it's kind of, it's okay. Russell Tovey is a management consultant who's from Yorkshire. He's gone down to London, is now advising a minister on closing hospitals, particularly on closing this hospital. He has now come back to this hospital because his dad is in the hospital, and his dad and he have been estranged, both about his sexuality and about his politics. When he was young, he was taken out rattling tins for the strikers, and now he's gone over to the other side. So there's all this stuff going on. Meanwhile, the residents in the hospital, not residents, the people who are in the hospital.
Patients.
Yes, although some of them are resident there because they're not going, they appear to be going anywhere else. So there's a constant thing about moving beds around and is there any space for them. So you hear about their quirks, and somebody is making a documentary, a little news piece for the local television station about why this hospital shouldn't be closed down and why people love it and why it's important. And I said to me, that cast list, that's a good cast. And whenever something bad happens, whenever somebody dies, you have to deal with the fact that the families are outraged and this, that, and the other. And then you start to realise that there's a weird subplot going on about patients dying in the hospital. And what seems at the beginning to be a thing sort of celebrating the NHS, celebrating hospital care, celebrating the need to care for the elderly in a different way. At one point, Jennifer Saunders' character says, I spend my whole life talking to grown-up children saying, well, I love them, but, and she says, and if you did love them, then why'd you put them in a home? And it's raising all those questions about, elder care and stuff, which is very, very poignant to many of us who, faced exactly these issues. And then suddenly this weird subplot that I know is inspired by some true life stories kind of comes up behind it. And the film has a coda which isn't, as far as I understand, in the play. Well, it isn't in the play because the play's 2018, and the coda is a COVID coda about how much everyone in the NHS puts their life on the line for us, quite literally, and how they carried on doing that extraordinarily during COVID. So on the one hand, the message of it seems to be, the clap for the NHS. But then there's this really, really odd and tonally misjudged subplot that I thought seemed to be from another film entirely that utterly derailed it. And I came out afterwards and I came out with Van Connor, who I was mentioning earlier on. It's like, what on earth was that about? So it's possible that in 2018 it was a very good stage play. I have to say, it gives me no pleasure to say that it is a very, very all over the place film, which I kind of went in thinking, okay, it's going to, whatever its, faults or flaws may be, because I'd heard very mixed reports about it. It seems to be something which is celebrating the NHS and celebrating elder care and celebrating all those, and it turns into something completely inappropriately different. So I thought it was very disappointing.
And that's a cinema thing? A cinema release?
It is. There's posters for it all over the place. Huge posters for it. And believe me, it troubles me that I was as disappointed in it as I was.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.